What's up? Ain't nothing, man, it's just us. The hard rock, hip-hop is untouched.
Well, I am not a fan of the word femc. I don't get like mad if someone calls me a femc or anything like that. Like, I understand it's kind of become like sort of a normal term, you know, for some people. So, you know, it doesn't like piss me off or anything, but I don't refer to myself as a femc, and that's, you know, that's the most I can do to prevent people from calling me a femc. I just never really say it myself. I think it's minimizing, you know. I think it goes back to what I was saying. It's like saying, hey, check out this rap girl, and I'm like, I don't see why it's necessary. Male rappers, we don't call them male C's. You know, we don't feel a need to dissect it like that. So I don't know why it has to be that way with females, but I do understand that we tend to fall into our own category, almost like the white rapper. You know, even if you have two white rappers that have completely opposite sounds and audiences and approaches, because you're white and you rap, you get thrown into this white rapper category, and it's the same with femcs. So I recognize that we sort of can fall into our category, and what I'm hoping is that over time, with the evolution of hip-hop and, you know, the female MC, with so many different women coming out with their own approaches to this whole situation, you know, you can have your Laurens, your Trinas, your Nickys, your, you know, like, there's so many different facets of women that will exist in so many lanes that there won't be a need for the term femc, because we're just around, we're a part of this. There's no need to break it down like, oh, she's a female MC, because we're just so visible in this industry that it won't be necessary to sort of pinpoint it that way. But I think that's going to take time, and that's going to take numerous female MCs doing their thing in numerous different lanes and showing their own examples of success and their own examples of, you know, individuality and originality, and not, you know, carbon copies of who we've already seen make it as a female MC. So I think it's just going to take time, but I'm not really big on the term.
We want to know what made you make the decision to not be like one of those overly sexed up MCs that just showing the ass and the titties and trying to make it in the game.
Yeah. You know, I'm not mad, I'll say, at the female MC who wants to carry herself that way. I think, you know, there's, I guess, a place for that, and to each their own. Me specifically, it's just me as a person, you know. I don't ever want to be at a cypher or a show or whatever the case may be, and, you know, walk away with a bunch of dudes saying like, man, I want to hit that, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I still, you know, get that sometimes, but that's not the kind of attention that I want. I want to be respected. I want to be regarded as, you know, one of the guys to a certain extent, or just as good as the guys. So, you know, for one, it's just my personality itself. That's not the kind of attention that I want to bring to myself. But also because I'm worried about my generation, and I'm worried about the youth that's coming up, and you know, that are looking at the media and getting all these messages of what you should be, you know. And I don't think that there's anyone out there right now to represent a different type of woman. I'm not saying that this type of woman is the wrong way to be, but I'm saying that there is someone else to relate to. You know, not everybody likes to like shop and, I don't know, and get a dude to pay their bills, and like, not everyone's about that life. So who's going to speak up for them? You know, who's going to represent that type of woman, and who's going to show an example to these young girls that you don't have to be that way, that's your decision, you know, that's one way to be, but you can also be this way, and you don't have to feel pressured to fall into that. So it's also much bigger than myself, in the way that I know that I could easily show a little skin and maybe get a lot more exposure than I'm getting now. Like, I know that, and I've gotten offers, and people would be amazed at the things that I've turned down, that I don't really share with people. Things that people would be like, wow, like, you didn't do that? That would have been crazy exposure for you. But it doesn't coincide with my vision, and it doesn't coincide with the message that I want to promote. So that's what it's all about, really. Worrying about what's bigger than myself, because if it was more about what puts money in my pocket, the industry has sort of given us the formula already as to, you know, how you can do that whole thing. But that's just not what I'm about at all.
So tell us a little bit more specifically about your personal style. Specifically, we like to know about shoes.
Jeez.
What are your favorite sneakers? Are you even a sneaker fan? Are you more like flats, heels? Tell us what you like to
I'm
rock.
definitely like a flats and flip-flops kind of chick. It might be a Florida thing, you know, coming up like in just like this kind of tropical climate and stuff. I love to be comfortable. Like that's what I'm all about. I just love to be comfortable and sort of urban bohemian to a certain extent. Yeah, I like to just be very kind of hippie with it. And as far as, you know, kicks go, I like kicks. I'm big on kicks. I like classics, like, you know, your classic white Air Force Ones. Like, I think it's like the cleanest, just, you gotta have them. Tims, love Tims in the wintertime. Constructs, like those are classic as well. And Chucks are really dope. Like I like to keep it real around the way, real fly girl, real relatable, you know what I mean? I think I can get fly like any other girl, you know, when I want to, but I really don't like to give off diva, vixen, intimidating, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not, that's not really what I like to give off. I like to make people, everybody around me just feel comfortable and just feel like, hey, she's chilling.
But we want you to tell us what we can expect from you in the coming months, what everybody needs to keep an eye out for. I mean, of course, we'll be bringing everything Nitty Scott MC to you.
They always do.
Just let us know what we can expect, what kind of works you got going on.
Definitely. So, doobies and popsicle sticks, look out for that. They'll be dropping very soon. Music videos, there should be, you know, finally some visuals, you know, hitting the net and everything. Lots of shows, upcoming shows. I have the UMA Fest on September 5th, which is this Monday, I believe. So that's going to be really dope at Public Assembly, as well as CMJ and a couple other things we have lined up that I will keep you guys posted on. And the Boombox Diaries Volume 1 has been pushed back to 2012. We don't have an exact street date for that yet, but we're just working out, you know, distribution situations and, you know, just a lot of things that I've never really had to deal with when it comes to putting out a project. But I think that's cool, you know, I think it's totally awesome. I definitely want to be exposed to that side of the game and, you know, the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, you know, that people think it's just about making music, but it's a lot more that happens with that. So the Boombox Diaries Volume 1 will be coming out in 2012, and that is my debut EP.
So, ain't nothing, man, it's just us. The hard rock hip hop is untouched.